Hi everyone, I'm Ashley Hunt, a senior project management instructor here at Stormwind Epic Live. And I know a lot of you are either halfway through the current PMP class or you're in the process of studying to take and pass your PMP exam. And sometimes you can get the study blues. So I wanted to put together just a short blog that talks about how to maximize your learning style to study so that you're getting the most out of your study time. Very first thing is I understand studying for exams, there are definitive downsides to it. It can be stressful. There's a lot of distractions. There's too many reasons to put studying off. Or you feel entitled to downtime. We all work hard, come home from work, and maybe you don't feel like picking up a book. Or I can do it tomorrow. Or, oh, look, internet or something else that we can use our time to avoid studying. I know, I've been there. I understand. Here are the upsides, though, to studying for your PMP exam. First of all, you're going to achieve your goal. If you study and you take practice exams, you're going to walk in there and pass this thing. And you're going to feel much more prepared and much less stressed out if you prepare. You'll still be a little stressed out. It's a big exam, and that's completely understandable. But if you're prepared, you'll take and pass the exam. You'll walk out of there with a shiny new certification. People will congratulate you. And here's the best news of all. Once you pass, you never have to take it again. So let's get through it based on your learning style. Most adults know what their learning style is, or even it's a combination of all three. But I'll break it down by auditory learners, visual learners, or tactile learners. And as we go through this, I'll talk about different exam prep tips to match your most prevalent learning style. Because as we go through this, you'll say, oh, well, all of that sounds like me. But let's pick one, try that out, and see how it works for you. If you are an auditory learner, it means you learn by listening. You remember very specific details in lectures and conversations. You're a good speaker and you enjoy words, but you may have musical abilities. If you play a musical instrument or when you're listening to music, you can hear tones and notes in a chord, then you're probably more strongly an auditory learner. If that is the case, here's a couple tips and tricks to keep in mind while you're studying. Read the content out loud. When you hear your own voice reading things out loud, chances are you've got a better option to remember everything that you're reading out loud. Take frequent breaks. If you say something out loud and you think you have it memorized, take 30-minute breaks, come back, and try and repeat it out loud to make sure that you've truly memorized it. Maybe even record yourself reading out loud or explaining concepts in your own words, and then going back and maybe listening to it at night or prior to your next study session. Listen to the recorded classroom of the PMP class, but don't watch it. Just listen to it. Plug in your headphones and listen to the class rather than looking at it and maybe being distracted by the words on the screen or me moving around. If you happen to be a visual learner, you learn by seeing. Information in pictures and charts are much easier for you to remember or to visualize than reading out of a book. So you can see the information in your mind and you can read people or body language really well. You're very aware of your environment and you have a deep appreciation for art or visual media. If you are more of a visual learner than the other two, the best thing for you to do is to set up your environment so it's pleasing to the eye. It is aesthetically pleasing. Whether it's your favorite room in the house, a park, your favorite coffee shop, make sure that your environment is visually appealing. Use highlighters to color code information. That way you can visualize the color. Write and rewrite information so you're visually watching yourself write it down. And use Post-it notes. Write down things that you need to memorize, like earned value formulas, and put it on your refrigerator or put it on a mirror in your home. Somewhere, wherever you walk by, you'll notice that colorful Post-it note Look at the actual formula and it will be better ingrained in your mind. Maybe also work with a study buddy. Sometimes visual learners need to see somebody else presented in a chart or graph, something visual. And if you work with a study buddy, maybe they know things that you're not quite strong on and they can demonstrate it for you visually and you'll remember it. Now, if you're a tactile learner, you learn by doing. You use your hands when you talk. You like to draw or to cook or things that require garden, moving objects around. Maybe you're a little easily distracted or really adventurous and you like to move around a lot. Really, it's tough for you to sit in a classroom environment without doing activities for learning, like practice exams or taking notes, something that means you're doing something. If this is resonating with you, you're a tactile or kinesthetic learner. And some of the tips and tricks that I have for you as far as that is concerned is find a large space to study in so that you can pace, so that you can move around with your PMBOK guide and copy your notes on another sheet of paper. So all the notes that you've taken in class, recopy them again. Take practice exams or even play games that are based on the content. Make up your own game, flashcards, things like that you can use as you're studying. And be creative and have something in your hands to do. Even if you're going back just watching the classroom, maybe have something that you can play with. So like squeeze with your hands or mess around with while you're listening and studying so that you're doing something with your hands to help ingrain the information overall. Now, I relate to all those types in one way or another. If that's what you're thinking, you've got a little bit of everything. One is probably more prevalent than the other, but anybody can use any of these study tips. It's totally up to you. Kind of mess around with them and see what works and say, hey, I really like the Post-it note idea, or I really like reading out loud and recording it in my phone and then listening back to it. That really helped me. Utilize it and adjust and adapt based on what's working for you. If you relate to all of those, now what? Well, set aside some time to practice these techniques. See which one works for you. Also, let your families know that you're going to be studying, when you're going to be studying, how long you plan to, and when to wrap up, so there aren't a lot of distractions. Or, if you want the distractions, bring your family and friends in. Let them help you study. Let them quiz you on certain things so that they're all involved. Have fun. Get what you can accomplish. Take practice exams. It's going to be fine. Based on the different styles of learning, you can really develop some great ways to study effectively and creatively. So good luck on your exams, and I hope this helped.